They got her at Newman's. Yeah, and they just bought her egg. So, but I asked her this was the word she did. She said yes. The other ones were out of it. But this one is just, but I think they had lived in a house with a very small baby. So at that point, all these toxins in her body just fighting. Yeah, so now any kind of toxins, her body. Oh no, yeah. So I didn't realize. I'm always in survival mode. I tell you. Yeah. Thank you.
Did you leave your speaker again? You got your speaker right.
Thank you for that. Because we thought she was going to do in the state.
Morris is an affiliate.
Oh, is it? Okay. So, and then her husband has like high blood pressure. He was like, my finger was numb, my feet were numb. Like, listen, I'll go take him to the hospital. Go with her, but he had these stuff, stuff. So,
You are near. This makes it hard.
it's just like my granddaughter was had an asthma attack. But this is like it's been almost a month now. Like now, her son she was in the hospital. I said, yeah, I'm gonna get through it. There's like nothing for her to do right now. They just got here, and her husband is gonna be on his way soon. The older daughters and the other sons that were and the other one I cooked dinner for everybody yesterday, so we had food. The kids got food. And so
everything happened for that.
She was in school and she had an asthma attack. Hope so. She's a brave girl. She's been through so much.
And they're doing that.
I hope she grows up. She's all four have struggled with asthma and allergies and all that. But the older ones have grown out of it. And this last one is just like has such a weak immune system. So hopefully,
Keep your microphone.
thank you so much.
I hadn't known that.
Because I was sick and pneumonia just that's
Oh, yeah. So you like that one stretch? We'll say you said we'll say. Better not. gonna buy a new amp. The other one was from 20 years ago. I love the wood. Yeah, that's what they're sending me an email.
Sign
Okay.
and give back to me. For you?
Probably. Yeah. Yes, I did. I don't know.
Good evening. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good evening. This regular meeting of the Township Council is being held in accordance with the schedule of the meetings of the Township Council, established and adopted by the Township Council, which schedule designated the time and date and place of this meeting. Adequate public notice of this meeting has been provided pursuant to the provisions of the Open Public Meetings Act. We are using electronic amplifying and recording device in order to obtain a clear and audible record, and we request all those that wishing to speak be recognized and state your name and address directly to the microphone. The recording device will be still utilized by the Township Clerk's Office for the preparation of minutes and shall be the official record of the Township Council meeting. Madam Clerk, may I have a roll call, please?
Mr. Mignon,
He is ill.
Mrs. Albright Troxel,
Here.
Mrs. Grace Love,
Here.
Mr. Nash,
He is running late, but he will be here.
Mrs. Walters,
Here.
Mrs. Winters,
Here.
Mr. Mercado,
Present.
Mr. Carlemere,
Here.
Mr. Curtis,
Here.
Chief Harkins,
Here.
Mr. McGill.
Good evening, everyone. This evening, we celebrate Women's History Month by identifying and celebrating 10 women who make a difference in Gloucester Township. There's a proclamation I'd like to start off with, and then we'll go to our first honoree. Whereas the Township of Gloucester takes pride in recognizing March 2025 as Women's History Month, celebrating women of every race, class, and ethnic background and their historic contributions to the growth and strength of our nation is countless recorded and unrecorded ways. And whereas National Women's History Week was first introduced to the nation in a message from President Carter designating March 2nd through the 8th of 1980 as such, and asking Americans to recognize this week with appropriate activities. And whereas by 1986, 14 states had declared March as Women's History Month, and their state-by-state action was used as a rationale to lobby Congress to declare the entire month of March 1987 as National Women's History Month. And in 1987, Congress declared the month of March as National Women's History Month in perpetuity. And whereas we recognize this year's theme of moving forward together, women educating and inspiring generations, as declared by a National Women's History Alliance, which spearheaded the movement for March being declared National Women's History Month. And whereas this year's theme celebrates the collective strength and influence of women who have dedicated their lives to education, mentorship, and leadership, and through their efforts have served as an inspiration for all generations, past and present. And whereas the process of information sharing has been a powerful catalyst for change, where an open examination of new insights can create a framework for collaboration, in which turn promotes the well-being of groups, businesses, communities, and society as a whole. And whereas women educators and leaders have played a pivotal role in nurturing minds and inspiring transformative action from classrooms to boardrooms, from grassroots movements to global initiatives. And whereas in 2025, we honor the women who have made contributions to the American educational system, the free marketplace of ideas, and the very fabric of our democracy. Therefore, be it resolved that David Mayer, Mayor of the Township of Gloucester, and I, Orlando Mercado, President of Council of Township of Gloucester, do hereby proclaim the month of March 25th as 2025 as Women's History Month, and encourage our community to celebrate the various contributions of women who have dedicated their lives to education, mentorship, leadership, shaping the minds and futures of all generations. Dated March 24th, 2025. We will now have our first honoree. Councilwoman Grace.
Good evening, everyone. The first honoree is Kelly McKenzie. She could not be here today, but she's represented here by her daughter and husband, whoever would like to come up. Miss McKenzie was nominated by Aubrey Arms, Brewster, I believe. Okay, great. I'm going to read a little bit of what Mrs. Brewster had written about your mom and your wife. And she reports that we here at Timber Creek Regional High School, they are very lucky enough to call Mrs. McKenzie their principal and leader. Some of us are lucky to also call her friend. Ms. McKenzie truly cares about the students, staff, and the community for which she's in. She starts each day with a feel-good music, a positive morning announcement, and is always smiling and laughing. You can hear her laughter a mile away. She has this amazing ability to connect with students on all educational levels and ethnic diversities, and is an inspiration to many as a strong Black woman in a positive position of power. We feed off her positivity and look forward to her creative ideas and constant plans and goals to make the creek even a better place for everyone. She attends almost every sporting event and banquet, most of our plays and shows, and expresses her charter pride off hours as well. Most of her wardrobe consists of navy blue and silver, uh, all the way down to her sparkling shoes, silver shoes. She lives in town and she has 4 children, but I only see 3. Okay. Um, 4 kids of her own that will each one day be a charger. It's always because of that she really is fully invested in making the school the best it can be. Everyone knows who she is and what she stands for. And most importantly, know that the children are in good hands with her leading the way. Miss McKenzie exemplifies what it means to be an exceptional leader and goes way beyond the responsibilities of an educator by truly and genuinely supporting and fulfilling the needs of everyone around her. She is always available, answers every phone call, even off hours. Her door is always open. She drops whatever she is doing at any moment and makes everyone she around her feels that they have her full attention. She is every student and staff's biggest cheerleader and will do whatever it takes to ensure all of our successes individually and as one large Charger family. She is the most deserving of a great honor. She is a phenomenal woman. I was going to read that poem, phenomenal woman. But I'm gonna keep that. On behalf of David Mayer and Council, we'd like to recognize her by giving her this plaque. It says Women Who Make a Difference, presented to Kelly McKenzie in recognition of her exemplary leadership, outstanding service, and dedication to the people of the Township of Gloucester. I'll give that to you. We also have a few citations to give. One from the Freeholders, Camden County Board of Commissioners. This is for your, and I'll give this one to you. I like to kind of one to you. And then we might have three more. We also have one from the U.S. House of Representatives, recognizing her for a woman who makes a difference. And I'll hold the other one. And this one is from the state of New Jersey, and the Senate and generally a symbol citation for her mom for making for accommodation and praise of her extended to her for being a great woman to make a difference. Mr. McKiss, you're going to say a few words? Yes. Yeah. Okay.
Since it's Women History Month, I'm going to have my two daughters speak on behalf of them.
Hello, everybody. As you can see, I'm not my mom. She's in Disney World right now, chaperoning a field trip. And I'm Macy, and I'm from Mullen. And my sister's over here. She's from Timber Creek. And my mom left this morning and to present. And me and my sister are here to accept this award on her behalf.
Take it up.
She laid out my clothes and planned for help with dinner, and told us not to argue with each other with our dad in public. But we love her very much, and we are happy that other people noticed her contribution. My mom wrote an acceptance speech, and I'd like to introduce my sister to read it.
These are my mom's words, and I'm honored to narrate them. My story of womanhood is adventurous and amazing. I grew up in Bridgeton with my mom, my dad, and my sister. My mom was a teacher, and my dad was an electrician who served on the Board of Education. Through their personal actions and investment, my sister and I learned early on that giving back to your community was a responsibility and a privilege. I was raised with grandmoms, aunts, and cousins who were remarkable, loud, and very supportive. In college, as a member of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, I learned about sisterhood and service. These experiences collectively birthed my drive, introduced me to leadership, and gave me girl power. Being a woman meant offering support, not just lending a helping hand, but offering a high five. This season was called Growth. So I have 4 kids, a husband, and a dog. You met Marley and Macy, and Miley and Marcus are students at James W. Lilly Elementary School. Together, Darnell and I created a legacy of love, chaos, but we call it love. We teach them to be confident, exercise their voice, and eat vegetables. We teach them to be confident. Oh, my bad. They are involved in Timber Creek Athletics, GT Lacrosse, Aerial Little League, GT Field Hockey, Timber Creek Junior Wrestling, and Girl Scouts. Our whole lives are within a 5-mile radius, and within this radius, we have built a life of communal responsibility, engagement, and friendship. While it is true I spent hours and hours in Charter County, I am too the secretary of the Home and School Association at Ann A. Mullen Middle School, and I volunteer with Miley's Girl Scout troop and GT. Being able to raise 3 little women and inspire their path to greatness is immense and inspiring and incredible. But this season is called Tired Mama. Most recently, being a woman took me to an imperfect place. My cancer risk became increasingly high over the last 2 years, and I made a very important decision to prevent something that felt inevitable. And I underwent a prophylactic bilateral mastectomy in December. The recovery was hard, but here's some perspective. I truly believe there is a reason God gifted me with this foresight. And now I'm going to spend the rest of my life letting Him guide my steps while I become who I am supposed to be. This year, I am grateful to be cancer-free, and I hope my act of prevention can help someone or people be brave enough to make bold decisions themselves. This season is called freedom. I cannot say this enough. I love my job, I love my students, and I love my staff. It's not a job, it's a calling. I wake up every day destined to make a difference. The networks I've created with the mayor's office, the GT Police Department, local businesses, and neighboring schools are vast, and our partnerships are power. When I grew up, I always thought it was a headache to live where you worked. My mom couldn't go to Wawa without someone saying hi to Mrs. Hands. And I thought, who would want, oh, my bad. And who thought that the one thing that was so bothersome could give me so much joy? Supporting the people I live with and work with is my Jesus job. And to receive acknowledgement for my efforts in the community is pretty fantastic because I love what I do and I love living here. This season is called contentment. And through all seasons, having a squad is important, and I'd like to recognize my village. It takes a lot of Jesus, coffee, and carpools to make my world go round. My family and my friends meant a lot to me, and I'm thankful for all of them. I especially want to acknowledge my husband and my kids for lending half of me to the other place I call home. In Charter County, I don't achieve great things alone, and I'd like to thank my Timber Creek and Black Horse Pike Regional School District family for supporting my vision, embracing my leadership, and believing in one person's ability to change the life of a child. I am humbled and honored to be selected in the same place I most often nominate others. Women's History Month is a celebration of strength, sacrifice, service, and swag. Being a woman is complicated and courageous and super cool. It is a superpower. Audre Lorde affirms, when we dare to be powerful, to use our strength in our service of vision, then it becomes less and less important whether you are afraid. Thank you for making a space to honor us through every season. Here's to strong women. May we be them, know them, and may we raise them. Thank you.
Hello, everybody. I would like to call up Terry Fretz. So when I was reading over Terry's nomination by Marianne Johnson, I was like, wow. Before I even spoke with her, I was like, she is a guardian angel. Marianne had mentioned, and when I was talking to Terry about this, she, at one point in her community, there was a gentleman, a mentally disabled man, and he was about to lose his house. He had no family that had passed on. So she rallied her neighbors, friends, family, and she set up a GoFundMe. So with that, she raised over $75,000 to help support this gentleman. which he was able to stay in his home, and they were able to make repairs for that. So just right there and then shows how much of a big heart that she has. And he was the person that she needed at the time. And she was able to do this. She didn't know where to start. She didn't have any resources right at her fingertips at that time, but she found out where to go, what to do, and she went for it, and she did it. And he's still living there. She still helps provide meals for the gentleman, and he appreciates it. She's also a huge advocate for the cat rescue groups. Again, she wasn't sure where to start, but there was a problem in the neighborhood where there was just cats. So she helped to save them, bring them to the shelter so that they would be able to be loved and bring to other families to be loved. So what became a nuisance maybe in one neighborhood became a loving family pet. So thanks to Terry for doing that and making it in the community. She one point, would I say she made over 75? She saved over 75 cats at one point. So when people still reach out to her to help for resources to help the situation, and she also on her own has provided own medical and food for them so that they can be spaded and neutered, and then she helps her find their forever home as well. When she's not helping people and the community or people on cat and animals, you might find her at the Board of Education meetings. She has grandchildren going through the school district, so she's an advocate for them. She'll go answer questions, see what's going on. So not only does she go to the board meetings, ask these questions, she also volunteers at some of the schools, mostly Lewis. She'll help with some of their book fairs, and she's just a part of it. She just loves to be involved with it and the community and with the kids. So she's got her hands all different pockets, so I give it to you. She's also in all of her grandchildren. When I had mentioned, I know some of her children and then her grandchildren, you could just tell on the other side of the phone how she was just so proud of them, how she just lit up about them. And it's very envious to see that. And I know her children that I know, they're great. They're wonderful people in the community as well. So kudos for raising such wonderful children and grandchildren. You can see how Marianne Johnson said how big her heart is. And you can see from these examples how it is and how she's just a true inspiration to the community and for others, just to see the work that she does and just to inspire others and to give back. So from Mayor and Council, we present you. Okay, I'm sorry. And from United States Congress, Donald Norcross, Women That Make a Difference. And from Canyon County Legislator, Paul Moriarty, Dan Hutchinson, and Cody Miller. And would you like to say anything, Terry?
Sure. I would like to say thank you to Gloucester Township for enacting the TNR program for feral cats. I think in all of our different communities throughout Gloucester Township, I've read and I've met people that find the cats to be a nuisance. And in my neighborhood, we had initially, when I started doing this about 6 years ago, we had 25 cats, and everybody kept saying somebody has to do something. So that's how I got involved with the cats. And at first it wasn't welcomed, but now everybody in my community is happy because while at one time we had 35 of them, now we have 2. So I have found homes for all of those kittens and those cats, and I've loved doing it, and it's the first experience I've ever had with them. I'd like to thank my husband for putting up with me doing all these things for cats and for financially taking care of all the bills that I amassed and all the food that they eat. He wasn't fond of cats at first, but now he's a cat lover too. I also want to mention my son, who's when I told him I was getting an award, he said, for being a crazy cat lady. And I said, yes, that's why I'm being honored. And all of my family for supporting me, because they've had to listen to 5 years, all kinds of stories about all different cats. And the most important thing is I want to thank the township, because not all townships have the TNR program, and they're overrun with cats. And I also want people to understand this program works. So if any of you have any interest at all, saving one cat, just one cat, is actually saving about 27 or 28, because that's how many kittens one cat can have in a year's time. I want to thank council because they approved the TNR program, and I want people to understand it really works. And thank you.
And just to the beautiful and wonderful cat lady. I have cats all over my property, and because of you, I just watch them roam around. I love them. I have greater respect for them. I just let them go. I want to welcome up Miss Chelsea Shiloh. Is she here today? I didn't get a chance to talk to her. Okay, but I'm going to go ahead and read the bio, and then I'll give her a call again. Mrs. Chelsea Shiloh was nominated by Mr. Eric Butler. Is Mr. Eric Butler here? Okay. Okay. Well, Mr. Eric Butler has stated that it is an absolute pleasure to recognize Chelsea Shiloh for Women's History Month. Her unwavering leadership, exemplary character, and integrity contributes greatly to the Gloucester Township community. As an educator, she is deeply committed to the success of her students, going beyond the classroom to ensure their academic and personal growth. She tirelessly tutors students who need extra support, demonstrating her belief that every child deserves an opportunity to succeed. Beyond her role as an educator, Ms. Shiloh embodies the essence of service and mentorship. As the director of the National Junior Honor Society, she fosters leadership and scholarships among young learners. Her dedication extends to the greater Gloucester Township community, where she leads the Giving Tree Initiative, providing gifts and supports to families in need during the holiday season. She is also an advocate for young women, mentoring them to build self-esteem and confidence, ensuring they see their own value and potential. Additionally, Mrs. Shiloh is a devoted literacy advocate, participating in local book clubs that promotes the love of reading among women in the community. Her selfless acts of kindness and commitment to education has made a lasting impact, not only on her students, but also on her peers and the broader community. For those reasons, Eric has wholeheartedly recommended Ms. Shiloh as a model of leadership, integrity, selfless character. Last, her contribution enriched the lives and inspired those around her. So let's give her a warm congratulations.
Good evening, everybody. I'd like to bring up Shelton Bartlett River. Did I say it right? I was looking for pink.
I know. It was a wardrobe change, last minute wardrobe.
Okay, so she's been nominated by her sister-in-law, Desiree, her friend, Alex, and her mom, Ada. So I have 3 different things I had to kind of pull everything together from other than our conversation. So I might jump around a little bit, but that's okay. So she grew up in Galloway, and then she settled into this area about 14 years ago. And we know it was then because that's around when her daughter was born. And we talked about how you remember things based on other things. You know, I said how my mom knew which daughter it was in a picture because of the furniture, you know, so not by the child. So she's joined today by her husband, her 2 kids, and I'm guessing your mom and your sister. And they're all here tonight to support her. We spoke today, and I can tell you that in our discussion, you could feel the positivity coming from her. And she said, "You'll know I'm there, you know, because you can kind of feel me before you even see me or know that I'm here." And her business is to empower women, fostering community connections, and drive economic development. So that's all positive things. So it seems to me, I don't really know her that well, but it seems like she has picked the right path. Her background is in media, marketing, and brand development, and she's dedicated her career to elevate and empower. She's opening a network studio called This Is It, and it's going to be at the Forum in Blackwood, right down on the Pike. So it'll be a digital streaming platform focused on empowering women by providing a space for diverse female voices and stories. And she's going to be doing live filming there with live audiences. So I said she's going back old school, you know, having all these people present at the time. She's an associate professor of digital marketing and branding for Drexel and Temple. And she's wrote a book called Scream Your Dream. And it's 66 lessons to build your personal brand. And she's dedicated to lift those around her. So some of the things that people have said about her in these letters, I'm just going to read a little bit from different things. So this one is from her friend Alex. And they said, she's someone whose orbit you want to be in at all times. Her positivity, realness, humor, and genuine love for all is insurmountable. She gives the absolute best hugs and always makes me laugh no matter what mood I'm in. She is a true inspiration to me, and watching her grow personally and professionally has been such an honor. This one is from her sister-in-law. It's not uncommon for there to be a gap of understanding between families and about what we do in our professional lives versus our family time. However, for some reason, their work and their professional mission are so intrinsically linked that their career becomes an extension of who they are. She's the perfect example of this, especially in the way she uplifts and supports particularly women. I remember an early conversation with her where she shared that women whisper their wishes when they should be screaming their dreams. I enjoyed that sentence. She explained that she wanted to use her rich professional experiences to build a business could empower others through leadership and brand management. She said she looks forward to Mama Rumor for advice. So everybody apparently runs for her advice. And this one is, I'm guessing, from her mom, because this is my last one. There's no name at the bottom. So she's committed to Scream Your Dream mission. Her aim is to create a safe place for visitors and community to network actively as they learn new skills, develop beneficial relationships, and enhance the region's economic development. It is for all to watch, listen, interact, learn, connect. So one will be able to craft his or her message and tell his or her story by making the world a better place. And then this was kind of interesting. They sent over 6 different comments from people, and it's what different people are saying about her. So I thought it was kind of interesting to pull in different people's comments. So it's a little long, so I'll just read like 1 or 2. She puts her guests at ease from the moment they walk into her studio. She's such a huge, warm smile and chats for a moment to make sure everyone is comfortable and ready for go live. She's helped me with not only marketing, but more importantly, branding. Anyone can keep their small business afloat, but learn how to build is essential, and teaming up with Shelton is a smart business. So there's other comments here. I'm going to give her this because I don't know if she got to see any of this. So you might want to read this. So I want you to see that. So I have the same things here. So I have the plaque. I have something from Donald Norcross and Assembly Moriarty, or Senator Moriarty, Assemblyman. Everything is there.
Thank you so much.
You.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it. This has been a little bit of a journey post-pandemic, and I like to say BQ, before quarantine. We were in a space in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. So I drove over the bridge every single day to interview 1 to 5 people per day for our digital series. And ever since in post quarantine, I was committed to making sure that I didn't have to go back over the bridge and trying to find a space and a home here in South Jersey. I grew up in Atlantic County before settling nearby. And it was always, for those just age myself, if you remember Channel 40, if you remember SNJ Today, there was local television within this market, within this region. And though I traveled the country telling stories and I've interviewed countless people, attended countless events, it was really important for me to bring media and television home. So the stories that are happening here is something that we can deliver on a regular basis. I grew up on old school talk shows, Donahue, Sally, you know, Donahue, Sally, Ricky Lake, and of course, Oprah Winfrey. And the goal is to bring that energy to the Blackwood West District. And thanks to Rocco Galelli and the Innovative Catering Concepts and the Forum Event Center for providing us with a home, we will begin broadcasting live as of the end of next month. So if any of you have a story to tell or would like to join me on stage, please let me know. Thank you so much for this honor. I appreciate it.
Me again. So now I have the honor of recognizing Regina Christo. So Regina has been a longtime resident of Gloucester Township. She was nominated by the mayor and her coworkers for Women Who Make a Difference. She had, and her close friends. She's had many countless residents and professional acquaintances during her time here in the township. Currently, well, not currently, as of the beginning of the month, until the beginning of the month, she served as Director of Communications in the Mayor's Office from 2016 until the beginning of this month, cultivating and defining the role and settling the high performance standards that they've all been accustomed to. She originated and developed the active and impressive social media presence for the Township of Gloucester. Her creative design and impeccable attention to detail provided a dependable information stream for the township residents for upcoming events, activities, programs, and services. The largest event that she's worked on here in Gloucester Township has been the medal ceremony back in October, a beautiful and momentous event where veterans across the township were honored for their bravery, sacrifice, and dedication. She worked countless hours behind the scenes, partnered with various professionals and coworkers to create a smooth and memorable event for everyone to enjoy. She's also served as the Neighborhood Preservation Program Coordinator, leading the drive to revitalize downtown Blackwood, working on the facade program, the home grant program, and the mural program. Through her leadership, Harwin Park was reimagined to create an inviting and functional space for township events and residents, and now the permanent home of the Veterans Memorial relocated from the intersection of Black Horse Pike and Church Street, where it was previously, but you couldn't really see it because of the landscaping and it was an obstructed view. So she's had that moved. She was part of the committee to have that moved over to where it can be viewed and enjoyed. She's also served on the Neighborhood Preservation Program, working with the Black Box Theater, trying to bring that to fruition. Some of the things that her coworkers have said about her: she's a pleasure to work with. She's gone above and beyond anything that was ever expected of her. Her work ethic, creativity, glowing personality, and contagious laughter is unmatched and will be greatly missed here. While accomplishing all that it was just shared with you, she's enrolled and put herself through school to obtain the necessary prerequisites to apply for a nursing school, and she did it with flying colors. So she just completed all her prerequisites, and she's starting in 2 weeks? Yeah, a week. To do the accelerated nursing program at Drexel. So it's an 11-month program. So I went through nursing school. I can tell you, doing that in 11 months, I did it with all the other classes, but it'll still be intense, but it'll be well worth it. So she did all that. She's starting the program, and they said her absence will be truly felt here, but know that Regina will make a huge impact and difference in the lives of those she will help in her new adventure. She's truly a woman who makes a difference and will continue making a difference in the years to come in the lives of all she will encounter. She will be greatly missed, and they wish her nothing but love and support. So in talking to Regina, I learned that so she's on her fifth degree. This venture will be her fifth degree. So she has a degree in linguistics, business, marketing, and an MBA. So I don't know. I'm exhausted just thinking about that. And to add nursing to it, as a nurse, I can tell you it's a rewarding field. And in speaking to you and the way you feel and how excited you are to go into it, I think you will enjoy it. And nursing will be lucky to have you. And I present you with all the awards. I'm not going to sit everybody through it again.
Just want to thank you, everybody, for coming out here tonight to celebrate wonderful women here in Gloucester Township. I'd like to thank the council, the mayor, and obviously my wonderful co-workers for nominating me. I will cherish the memories that I've created working here for so many years, and I'm going to miss my GT family. I love you guys.
Hello, everybody. Sorry for being late. All right. Today, as we celebrate Women's History Month, we are proud to recognize an extraordinary woman who is the epitome of women that make a difference. Denise Coyne, please join me. Just me. We spoke a lot today. Denise currently is an active member of the Pine Hill Rotary Club, where her contributions go beyond just attending meetings. Her involvement in she's greatly involved with local government, and it speaks to her commitment of creating meaningful change and always having an eye towards a betterment of those around her. Whether advocating for important policies or working behind the scenes, Denise's knowledge and expertise in local government have proven invaluable. But it's not just her intellect that stands out, it's her determination. You may have seen her on many council meetings. And her unyielding spirit. Denise tackles challenges head on, and she never backs down for a fight. I wouldn't want to get between her and anyone. Through her charity work, she's touched countless lives, always giving. I'm going to tell a story about one in a minute. Always giving without expecting anything in return. Denise is a role model for all of us, embodying the power of service, leadership, and compassion. Denise, thank you for all you do. Your hard work is greatly appreciated. Now, Denise was nominated from Terry Fretz, who was also an award winner tonight, so congratulations. But I would like to read some of the stuff that Terry wrote because one of them touched home for me because she helped somebody that I knew. So I would like to nominate Denise Coyne for Women Who Make a Difference. Denise has been a resident of GT for 47 years. She has been a member of the Gloucester Township Pine Hill Rotary Club for 5 years, serving as the Foundation Board Secretary and Sergeant of Arms. Denise has volunteered countless of her time, skill, and financial help to all the fundraisers they hold. You will see her outside ShopRite collecting food donations for families in need in GT. She also, which I just found this out today, handles all the pantry boxes at Highland and Triton High Schools and by the Senior Center on Hyder Lane. So those boxes that they put food in for the needy, it doesn't just magically appear. And it goes fast, faster than I ever thought it would. She donates her time to ordering, picking up the food, and regularly filling the boxes. The food goes fast, but she is determined to see that those boxes remain full. In addition to her volunteer work, she never declines a request from others for help. Several years ago, when I first met Denise at a school board meeting, I asked her to help organize a fundraiser to help a mentally disabled man in my neighborhood, my buddy Lamar. And his parents passed away, and we wanted to keep him in his house, and it seemed impossible until Denise got involved. So he still lives there today, still has a job. He goes to church every Sunday, and he's an active. If you go down Cherry Circle any time of the week, you'll see Lamar walking around, and it's thanks to Denise. All right? And Sarah. Thank you very much.
I'm a horrible public speaker, so I wrote something to spare you guys. I wasn't planning on standing up here tonight, not because I don't appreciate recognition, but I do truly appreciate this. But I don't think what I do is special or award worthy. I think of it as necessary. It's simply part of being human. We all have choices in life. Some people choose to look inward on their own families, their jobs, and their struggles. And that's understandable. Life is hard. I get it. But then there are others who look up, look around, and realize the world is bigger than just them. People who recognize that their voice, their time, and their effort, however small, can create powerful change. Because change doesn't just happen, we make it happen. I spent 47 years in this township. It's my home. And when something is your home, you don't wait for somebody else to fix it. You take responsibility, and that's why I show up. Whether it's to fight for transparency and accountability in government, support struggling families, help seniors, or make sure a man I didn't even know didn't lose his home. The world doesn't get better through silence. It gets better through people who are willing to stand up, speak out, and take action. But more than anything, it gets better when we pause, pay attention, and ask, what can I do? If you can't do a lot, do a little, because small acts add up, and we're all in this together. Terry Fretz, my friend, who nominated me for this award, is responsible for getting me involved. She told me about the man who was losing his home, and together we saved it. And Terry inspired me to become involved. If you're looking for a way to get involved, the Gloucester Township Rotary is accepting new members. It's a great way to meet people in your community, and our motto is service above self. And it's a reminder that what we do for others is what truly matters in the end. We meet weekly, usually on Wednesdays, for lunch at the library, and we'd love to see anybody that would like to stop in. You can also attend Board of Education or council meetings, because you can't change what you don't understand, and you can't fix what you don't know is broken. If you can't attend council meetings, you can watch recaps on the Gloucester Township Observer website. It's an awesome resource for information. To those who stand beside me in this work, you know who you are. I see you, I appreciate you, and I thank you. You're my friends, and you're my strength. What we do isn't easy, but it's important, and none of us do it alone. We have each our own talents, and together we're awesome. We get it done, no matter what it is. And to my family, thank you for your love, support, and your patience, for understanding the late nights, the long meetings, the phone calls, and all the time I spent away from home. I couldn't do it without you. I chose a quote that's always stayed with me. The most common way people give up their power is by thinking they don't have any, by Alice Walker. You do have power. It's in your voice, your vote, and your actions, and what you choose to do with it matters. Thank you.
Good evening again. I would like to call up this remarkable young woman whose dedication and compassion has made a significant positive impact on our community senior population. Cassidy Hummel. Cassidy is a resident of Gloucester Township. She is a graduate of St. Joe's High School in Hamilton, and she's pursuing her career, her degree in health or human services at Rowan University, which she would graduate in May. But this isn't how things were planned for her originally. She originally was going to school to be a librarian, and she did get an associate's degree for that. But what inspired her was a neighbor from her grandparents' house, and she realized that this person needed help. So she wanted to make a change, and she saw what this person was going through, the help that they needed. So that one person gave her the inspiration to lead a different path. So with that, that's when she changed her degree for human services. She became involved during COVID. She volunteered at the senior center, where she currently works there part-time. But during that time, she was like a safe haven for the seniors. She was there giving them lunches, giving a pivotal role to them to make sure that things continued on a daily basis for them, that their routine was not changed, and continued to maintain smooth operations with everything, because we all know it was chaos. So this young lady, as young as she was, she helped promote that. Her willingness to step up during crisis speaks volume about her character. Since then, she has transitioned to a part-time employee, where she continues not only helping the seniors, but now she's hosting these events and making sure things run smoothly, as she has stepped up into it, because she knows the daily routine. She knows the seniors there that go there, so they feel comfortable with her, and she just continues to serve them. She also volunteers for Gloucester Township Scholarship Committee. She gives her time to help those other students in high schools for scholarships, as well as the Special Parents and Kids Network of Gloucester Township. After graduation, she does want to work with seniors that are neglected, abused, and have no family or support. And I can see from just talking to her, warm heart and compassion, she's a perfect person to do that. I'm sure they enjoy when she comes to the senior center and she just gives it. They probably look forward to it. They probably ask for her as when she's not in school or doing her internship. So thank you for being a part of it. Debbie Carr had recognized her. So thank you, Debbie, for supporting her and guiding her the way to help her achieve her goal. We believe Cassidy Hummel embodies the qualities of an outstanding woman who makes a difference and wholeheartedly recommends for the consideration. So thank you for all that you do, and good luck for everything.
Hi, I'm sorry, I'm a little nervous. I want to thank my boss, Debbie Carr, for nominating me. I want to thank the council and the mayor for this nomination. It is a great honor. I want to thank all the nominees and congratulate them as well as for this award. And I want to thank the town of Gloucester Township, including my seniors. Working with them is a great joy and a great compassion of mine that I still want to work towards when I graduate with my grade from Rowan University for my human services bachelor's. It's been a great time working with Debbie and working with my seniors. It's given me the education to learn from my seniors to help me through everything and to learn more for when I do go out and help more seniors. And it's been a great education working with Debbie and being able to work with her and gain the education I need to go out into the job force that I'm going to be going to soon. Thank you so much for this nomination and for your guys' time.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
It's so nice to see some smiling faces tonight with all these beautiful women that we're honoring, and it's such a nice event, isn't it? I'm glad we can do it. I have the pleasure of honoring Mary McGehee. McGehee? Come on down. And Mary was submitted by her neighbor, Andrea McPherson. Hi. And who's this?
This is Sylvia.
Oh, this is little Sylvia, and I'll be talking about her too. Well, Mary has two successful adult children. She's a grandmother with a granddaughter and a doggy mom to four-legged dogs. Mary is the caretaker of her family, as you can tell. When her mom got sick 9 years ago, she renovated her home to accommodate her mother's needs. I think that's really important. We care about our family. We care about our parents. And when they're in need, sometimes it's time for us to take care of them. And she did that. I think that's wonderful. When COVID hit, of course, Mary would be seen pushing her mother through the neighborhood in a wheelchair because she felt that her mother needed adequate air and stimulation during this difficult time. So this was given by a neighbor who got to see her a lot doing this. It's nice when we see people helping others in our neighborhood. It makes us feel safe, makes us feel comfortable, and it makes us feel good. Now, when Mary's longtime friend Sylvia passed away, she stepped up to become the surrogate of Sylvia's granddaughter, who is also named Sylvia. And here she is. Well, Mary became an integral part of young Sylvia's life. She's dedicated to filling the immense void of her friend by taking her friend's granddaughter to and from school, taking her to appointments, taking her to see other children as friends. And wherever she needs to go, she takes her. That's the way it should be, helping each other. Mary and young Sylvia can also be playing in the backyard and the front yard and all around the neighborhood. So it's nice to know that Mary's there for her in all ways, including acting like a child with a child to have fun. That's really important because life is not just serious. We need to have fun. And especially when we're little like this, right? Right.
She's big.
Yeah. Yeah. Huh? She's 6 years old. Wow, I'm impressed. And you have pretty colors on too, and cool boots, like the boots. Well, Mary has a passion, as you can tell, for rescuing and fostering homeless dogs. She volunteers for Angel Rescue. I don't know if you've ever heard of it, but I never did either until I learned about Mary. And Mary transports, bathes, and opens her home to foster dogs until they find their forever home. Well, one dog couldn't find his forever home. And she became the forever home for that dog. It was a mixed breed that was cast off by a breeder when the dog's reproduction days were done. So now Phoebe is part of this family. Yes. Now, Mary listens to her phone, she listens to the TV, she listens to everything in case she can help. You know, that's the way some people are. They just want to help others. Well, Mary got an SOS call on Easter weekend last year. 30 dogs were being transported in a transport when there was an accident. And what do you do when there's 30 dogs in a transport and a major accident? They get the transport to Blackwood. It still has the dogs in it. So what happens? And it's pouring rain. You got to picture this. Do I sound like that older lady on the Golden Girls? Well, picture this. Pouring rain, 30 dogs in a van. And Mary comes, she gets the SOS, and she's there within minutes. And she not only stays there, but she stays there and even in the rain to help these, so that because they were panicked. And she wanted to make sure that they wouldn't be panicked. because the more they panic, the worse it gets, as we know. So she stayed with them. She has a way about her. She calmed them down. She calmed them down until the other transport came. So she is a major part of this group that take care of dogs. She's an embodiment to many in what it means to be a woman of service, not just a woman sitting back watching TV or doing something. She's a woman of service. And she's a pillar, especially those who have dogs and know about the dog community. She knows about the cats. And her commitment to acts of assistance is an inspiration to all of us, and we should all be thankful to Mary. Mary. And little Sylvia for coming up. Thank you. You're welcome. You have everything everybody else got.
Okay. I want to thank Dave Mayer and the council for recognizing me with this award for Women's History Month. Also like to special thank you to my friend Andrea for nominating me for this award. It means the world to me. I would also like to thank my family because I really love them. My husband Charlie, my son Michael, and his wife Jen, my beautiful granddaughter. They must have taken her out. She's not here. Harper, my daughter Marissa's not here. She's working. And of course, Sylvia, my best friend Flo, and my other family, Sylvia's mom and dad, for coming to support me tonight. Thank you all again. I will continue to strive to be the best person I can for my family, my community, and myself.
Andrea McPherson, please come up.
Not Mary. Mary gets a Rottweiler in a
There's a presentation. This is the neighbor that nominated her.
Take a picture. Okay. Yeah, I'm sorry. We'll get that later. Okay.
Plaque, and then here.
You hold that, and you hold that, and we'll put this there too.
Okay, hold on, let me get this out of the way.
Okay. Is this good?
You want to stand in the center?
So put her in the center.
You get in the center.
Thanks. Here you go. Oh, thank you. Bye, Sylvia.
Good evening. Our next recipient is Ashley Richards. Ashley? Normally, when people are nominated, we try not to let them know who nominated them. And the mayor's office is so efficient. They told Ashley who nominated her. Ashley, I nominated Ashley Richards, and I'll tell you about why she's an outstanding honoree this evening. But when she was first notified about this, she thought it was a scam. So she contacted her detective husband, okay, and he goes, "No, this is a thing. You know, they do honor people, okay. So you can call back the township about it." There are a few adjectives that describe Ashley that came from parents and colleagues: spunky, patient, always there as a teacher, a blessing, that she provides great dialogue between students, staff, and teachers, and parents. A big smile. When I was walking in, she looked like the greeter when we were going through the, yes, she was the official greeter of the town, okay? Bubbly, that she never gives up on a student. She refers to her students as her babies. Sorry, boys. Yeah, you got siblings now. Yeah, so they know. And dedicated. Ashley was born and raised in Gloucester Township. She comes from a long line of public servants. Her father is retired Captain Shriver. Her brother is retired Lieutenant Shriver. Her husband is a detective in the police department here, all in Gloucester Township. She went to Glendora School, Glen Landing, and graduated from Triton High School. She then attended Camden County College and then moved over to Rowan University and graduated with her degree. She started as a teacher in the Gloucester Township Public School District, a substitute teacher in middle school 18 years ago, and then segued over to elementary school. Currently, she is a kindergarten teacher at Aero Elementary School. This past year, each year, there are nominations that are accepted in the Gloucester Township Public School Districts for Teacher of the Year in their particular school. And Ashley was selected as the Teacher of the Year at Aero Elementary School for the 23-24 school year. However, all those, we have 11 schools, so 8 elementary, 3 middle schools, and over 600 teachers. So of the 11 teachers that were nominated for their respective schools as Teachers of the Year in their own particular building, then they are then selected as one Teacher of the Year in Gloucester Township. So over 600 teachers are in our school district, K through 8, and to my left was the Teacher of the Year for Gloucester Township Public Schools. She was named Teacher of the Year in May of 2004, so her reign's about to end because there's going to be a new Teacher of the Year in May of 2025. Can't let that out of the bag. Okay. So she is a parishioner at Our Lady of Hope, where she is involved with some of the activities that her children do, whether it's making peanut butter and jelly sandwiches for Martin Luther King Day, providing cancer bags for cancer patients, and she is involved in their activities that gets her involved as well. Again, the comments, the adjectives that I described at the beginning came from nominees that were not just her colleagues, but parents that deal with her on a day-to-day basis. And she shared a story with me, Ashley, when we spoke last week, that she had a teacher that influenced her. When they started Hooked on Phonics, when she was in school, she had some difficulties with it. But that teacher took extra time, stayed after school, and continued to work with her and did not give up on her. And that's what inspired Ashley to become a teacher and to be a wonderful and outstanding educator in the Gloucester Township Public School District. So on behalf of Gloucester Township Mayor and Council, we present this to you in recognition of your exemplary leadership, outstanding service, and dedication to the people of the Township of Gloucester. Congratulations.
Thank you. I feel ill-prepared because people wrote speeches.
All
And I
right,
did not know.
We got a delivery.
Oh, thank you, my
We got another delivery.
Oh, my boys, thank you. Thank you, my babies. Yeah, I did not know that I was supposed to say something after. But I'm going to. I feel. But yes, thank you so much. Your words mean so much to me. I come from a line of service, as he said. My dad instilled a love. Oh God, stop! Don't look at me. Stop! Don't look at me. My father instilled a very deep passion for education at a very young age. My mother was a homemaker and was there for everything I can remember from preschool all the way up through high school. So I like to think I got the best of both my parents. I got a deep passion for education from my dad and a heart of gold from my mom. She's my woman difference maker because she made me who I am today. So. And my boys, I want to say thank you to my babies that just came up here. I love you so much. You make me want to be better every day. And my husband, thank you. He's my constant cheerleader. I'm a cheerleader for everybody else, but he's always my cheerleader. But this means so much. So thank you very, very much. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
No, we have one more. Last but not least, Kashana Yara Waples, come on down. Did I say it correctly?
Yes, you did.
Okay, good. I wasn't sure. She was nominated by Dr. Yavanka Brooks from Rowan University. Dr. Brooks has known Yara for 15 years. And during that time, she has consistently demonstrated a humanitarian spirit dedicated to her community. That's important. She's honest, and she constantly pursues the spirit of education and professionalism in her life. Her humanitarian spirit is holistic, and it extends to her customers. She has a business, a small business, and her commitment to community. Her mission is to educate, provide, and model that a healthy lifestyle is obtainable for all. Even though we think we can't do it, we can. We can be healthy. And it's also affordable for everyone. Mhm. She is an exemplary citizen and a staple in the community. Despite barriers that you've faced as a small business owner, that has not stopped her from attending community events, town halls, school functions, and also while she's doing all that, she's educating herself and she's educating her community. And she educates others on the benefits of healthy living. Yara also supports other small businesses in her community and helps them out when they need help. I think that's very important too. Yara continues to stay informed on educational and current business and customer service practices. I wish a lot of businesses did that. Sometimes you go out to a business and you never know what's going to happen or what you're going to get. But Yara voluntarily signed up for a program at LAEDA Women's Business Center. That's an entrepreneurial development training program. And while simultaneously attending that program, she was running her business. And in addition, Yara's capital business, it's called Juice Capital. Juice Capital, let's get a plug in there. She voluntarily participated in a year-long collaboration with consultants to improve her business practices. I think that's really important too. If you want to be successful, you've got to dedicate yourself to learning more about what you're doing to make sure you're the best that you can be. And this is what she does. She believes in education, as I do. As a longtime homeowner in Gloucester Township, it is a tremendous benefit to have a business owner who lives in town and continues to give back to the community. And I really appreciate her. Let's show her we appreciate her. Same thing.
All right.
Say a few words.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Plug your business now.
Oh, yeah, I am. Okay. My name is Kashana Yara Waples. Thank you so much for everyone, my mentor, Yavanka Brooks, and everyone here that you guys, beautiful, 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 just helping others. That is the part of the game. You know, you live, you know, Christ gives you life, so you give back to other people. And that's so important, you know, just to give back and just to love others as you love yourself and you love the church. And, you know, but I just thank you. And I think that's it. My name is Yara Waples. I'm the juice. My store is Juice Capital. I hope it's in Blackwood, New Jersey. And you guys, I love Gloucester Township. Like, I mean, for real, just to opening up, they were very receptive, welcoming, you know, helpful, you know. So I was like, yeah, this is where I will live. I want to be here, you know, and stay here. I could do the community events. Also in the summertime, I just did one with a Mystic Ginger, you know, so I'm definitely in the community, but I'm off of Blackwood Clemenson Road. I know if anyone knows Antonino's Pizza. All right. I'm 2 doors down from Antonino's Pizza. I'm downstairs. Yes. So everyone knows Anthony knows pizza. Make sure you come see us. And health is wealth. And we definitely like to strive for, healthy living through juicing. Juicing is life. It really is. We help with people with diabetes, high blood pressure, who wants to take a more holistic, natural way instead of medication. Come on, see us. We can help. Have a good night. All right.
This concludes our program. Unfortunately, our mayor could not be here. He had a prior commitment. He does send his regards to those in attendance and all to honor all the honorees. I want to thank our committee. We had a committee of individuals, Andrea McPherson, who's a former recipient, and also Renee Michelle, who's a recipient during Black History Month, for reviewing our nominations. It's very difficult to whittle it down to 10 nominees in the township this large. I want to thank the people who nominated the individuals, those that took time to nominate and bring these outstanding individuals to the forefront. Just to recap, we had a cheerleader, a champion of students at Timber Creek, but also a champion of Gloucester Township in Kelly McKenzie. Terry Fritz, who cared about her neighbor. I see Terry when I'm running in that big red truck she drives all through town. I like it when she tells me I look thinner when I've been running, so I do appreciate that, Ms. Fritz. Chelsea Shiloh, who is not here today, but is an outstanding educator at C.W. Lewis School. And what we'll do is we'll present that to Chelsea at C.W. Lewis School in front of her colleagues. Sheldon, for giving great hugs, that you give great hugs, and also what you're going to bring to our community. And I remember TV 40. I went to undergrad at Stockton, so I know that whole area down there in Galloway. To Regina Caristo, who has a work ethic that is just outstanding and can do a lot of things, and a lifelong learner. Denise Coyne, as a Rotarian and also working with Terry Fritz to save that individual's home. Going back to Terry Fritz, 5 years ago she was nominated, but what happened 5 years ago? The world shut down. So this is 5 years too late, Terry, but congratulations. Cassidy Hummel, working with seniors, and you have a great mentor for working with Debbie, who's been a lifelong member of our community. To Miss McGahee, who's working with rescue dogs and being the surrogate grandma. You be my surrogate grandma too? So to Ashley Richards as the teacher of the year. That is, again, there are 600 educators in Gloucester Township Public Schools, K through 8, and that is our teacher of the year. And what you see here today is what people see at Erie Elementary School every day. And to Yara Waples as a small business owner, and you have an excellent mentor. I've known Dr. Brooks for about 25 years, and I will share a quick story with you. Back in 2000 or 2001, she opened up a coffee shop in the city of Camden on 6th and Broadway. The city of Camden did not have a coffee store for close to 50 years, a coffee shop. Think of it as Friends. It was Friends in there, and she had an internet cafe, and it was a wonderful business plan. And they were building Camden County College across the street. They were renovating the new structure there. And then Rutgers University put Starbucks in. Yes. So, but it was a wonderful, Ivanka went through that program through Latin American Economic Development Association, LAEDA, and has continued and served as a mentor to many people. So thank you, Dr. Brooks, for doing that as well. So I want to thank everyone for coming out this evening. Please, and those, the honorees, please continue to do what you do, and because you do make a difference. So thank you very much. And we have all the honorees up here. We're going to take a few pictures, and we'll have a 10-minute recess. Thank you.
Really?
Why? Why?
What did I find out?
Did we jam Vatos Locos? You want to be?
No, she's home. I got so it was
I would love to have that insider information. Yeah, come on, and find out. Big teacher, she should
And everybody on this side.
one word. So it's nothing to be alarmed about. They said it's probably not that. Yeah, they found that's what they said. Yeah. So.
That's it. Jen, how you would. Jen's coming. I wasn't paying attention. Like a box or no, could you come with us real quick? Bless you. Yeah, thank you so much. Congratulations. I know, right? Thank you so much. I live in One Oaks. Thank you. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Do you? Yeah, I have my standard one. The one that's mixed with milk.
So yeah.
Yeah, she's gonna have to do my other one socks. But, yeah. She's great. Yes, yes. Thank you so much. Are you gonna smile in this picture?
Amazing. Come over here, over Granny. Come over, Granny.
Oh, I sent a picture.
You picture this is the most photogenic person I've ever seen.
Boys, how you doing, brother? How are you?
Yeah, right.
And like one of them just said this. Well, no, she just said this. Okay. Yes. That's really cool. Yeah, it's a free story. Jeez. Where are you gonna go? Somewhere. I'll walk in the She's gonna be cold. Well, we're not going until August. Oh. Yeah, so it'll be cold. It should be. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, once Clemson scored 50.
I was actually happy or not, I won Flyers. You did? You just played more of a game, spin to win. I said, I'm
So she's playing.
He texted me, he's like, I just your phone number and email. Yeah, no, he's fine. So, yeah.
And that's not saying. Yeah, what? I actually told him, well, your hands are too cold. Now, mind you, she drove it. So she popped up. I feel like you would I think our office Do you know about my son? And they chose the church hot water and juices around. They did the same. So they must have shot away. There's 3 siblings. And then my son. So like she's a sibling. She's a sibling. That's my son. So she's the cousin. They're going to get them.
Yeah, I know how it goes.
Yeah, okay. And actually, yeah, it's like they're our nieces.
Yeah, they're my nieces and nephews. And then we just take it. Lexi and
She's like an honorary daughter.
Yeah.
In-laws.
Yeah.
It's funny you make it up when there's yeah, for sure. And they were like, yeah, we're gonna go out later. Saturday night. So, there's one in Cherry. Somebody else made the reservation. I tried to online and then we'll show up from there. Right. If I can do it, I will.
He might be.
Yeah.
Huh?
Alright, well, if you know anybody that's like in the league, just let me know.
Yeah, I'll talk this.
I have three kids. Yeah, we're gonna put up this year.
Okay, I'll talk.
I know, it's so close.
Also, and crack. He says he thinks it's good.
That could be.
Barely.
You did? Tough to see it's revised. We'll see.
I know.
Are you doing this one?
I said, I don't remember buying
No?
tickets. He's like,
All right, we'll say we did. Okay. Okay.
there you go.
Say we did. On the agenda, they need to read. You want me to?
Madam Clerk, the roll call again, please.
Mrs. Albright Troxel? Here. Mrs. Grace Love? Mr. Nash?
Here.
Mrs. Walters? Here. Mrs. Winters? Here. Mr. Mercado?
Present.
Mr. Carlemere?
Here.
Mr. Cardis?
Here.
Chief Harkins?
Here.
Mr. McGill?
Here. Miss Grace Love had to leave for a family emergency. Proclamation 2025, You Drive, You Text, You Pay, Distracted Driving Crackdown.
April 1st through 30th, 2025. Whereas distracted driving is a serious, life-threatening practice that is preventable. And whereas distracted driving can result in injuries and deaths to all road users, motorists, pedestrians, and bicyclists. And whereas distracting driving occurs when drivers divert their attention away from the task of driving to focus on another activity instead. And whereas from 2011 to 2020, distracted driving related crashes resulted in 32,000 deaths on our nation's roads. And whereas in New Jersey, distracted driving was listed as a contributing circumstance in 50% of all motor vehicle crashes from 2016 to 2020. And whereas the state of New Jersey will participate in the nationwide distracted driving 2025 crackdown from April 1st through the 30th, 2025, in an effort to raise awareness and decrease driving distraction through a combination of enforcement and education. And whereas the national slogan for the campaign is You Drive, You Text, You Pay. And whereas a reduction in distracted driving in New Jersey will save lives on our roadways. Now, therefore, be it resolved that David R. Mayer, Mayor of the Township, and Orlando Mercado, Council President, do hereby proclaim the Township of Gloucester's support for the Driving Distracted 2025 crackdown, both locally and nationally, from April 1st, 2025 through the 30th, and pledge to increase awareness of the dangers of distracted driving.
We'll now open up our first public comment. This is for agenda items only. This is for 15 minutes. Each speaker is entitled to 3 minutes. You may speak one time. After the public comment portion is closed, council may respond to any questions or comments at that time period. Would anyone like to speak on the first public comment period? Mr. Polidoro.
Good evening, Council. Ray Polidoro from the Historic
Good
Village of Ariel.
Good evening.
I was trying to look at some details of the ordinance 2508, to get a little more detail on all of what was transpiring with the Blackwood West redevelopment. I know that you're not into the dialogue anymore to be able to explain that before we go on to that so that I can better prepare a question for it. I was looking for details regarding what type of money is going, what type of additional money is going into that project. Just judging by the bank alone, and all that's going on there, does it have anything to do with all that's moving forward? And, or is it just on the other side or down past the arts section of that? So that's basically what I was looking to find out, as I didn't see what I was looking for in the details of the ordinance. And if you'd like to discuss that before you move on to the second reading of that, so I can better prepare for that second reading discussion. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else? Mr. Leader.
As council knows, I don't know when I can speak on what topic. So I'm hoping I'm on score this time. R 2503-103. May I speak on that topic?
It's a resolution. Yes, it's an agenda item, sir.
I did an internet search for the word Corman Suites and nothing came up. So apparently it doesn't exist. My question is Corman Suites a private or a government entity? Is Corman Suites a private or a government entity? I repeat my questions because many times I ask questions and I get a nice dialogue back at the end of the meeting, but my question was failed to be registered accurately and not answered. I'll go into that further in the second reading. The same R 2503-103, I did an internet search for Teresa Place in Gloucester Township. I did not find that. Google did not find that. It did find a Teresa's Place. My question is Teresa's Place a private or government entity? Is Teresa's Place a private or government entity? May I speak on 025-08?
There is a hearing for that if you want to save your comments.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else? Seeing none, we'll close the first public comment period. Mr. Polidoro, 0-25-08 is allowing an existing business, which is a tattoo shop, to expand to another building there. So there's no additional monies, nothing out of township's pocket. There's a business owner that wants to expand his business, and that's the ordinance that's going to be, we'll have a hearing for that. Mr. Leader, in regards to Corman Suites, that's Cherrywood. Okay, that's the former name of that whole entire project there, that front part. The pavement that Mr. McGill or Mr. Cardis, we're talking about the streets there, the paving. So 103. But Corman Suites was the name of Cherrywood. They had, for those that are familiar, they had long-term rentals there, executive rentals that were there. And that is for 2 handicap ramps, the concrete sidewalk, concrete curb, and that area. If you're familiar with that, Mr. Lead, if you're going down Gloucester Township Road, a sidewalk stops on one part, then you have people walking on the shoulder of the road heading towards the diner area or coming back from the diner area. So that's what that is for that particular area. Teresa Place is located off of Church Street, across from the old 7-Eleven. That's Teresa Place. That is a public street. Okay. Ordinance 0. Now we have our ordinances, second reading. There will be a public hearing. Ordinance 0-25-08, ordinance of the Township of Gloucester, County of Camden, the State of New Jersey, adopting amendments to the Blackwood West redevelopment plan as adopted under ordinance number 0-21-12 in accordance with NJSA 4012A-1 et sec, local redevelopment and housing law. This ordinance to amend section 1411B of the Arts District North redevelopment district of Blackwood West redevelopment area to permit the use of a tattoo body piercing with retail sales and services at 12 North Black Horse Pike and 10 North Black Horse Pike. We'll now open up the public hearing. Anyone wish to speak on this matter? Mr. Leader.
If you want that time.
5.
Dave Leader, Glendora. I see a lot of directions of the compass on this. And it's not clear to me what the geographic boundaries of Blackwood West is. I tried to learn that through looking at the internet, looking at Gloucester Township website. There's no geographic description of Blackwood West on the Gloucester Township website. And further, so my question is, what are the geographic boundaries of Blackwood West? What are the geographic boundaries of Blackwood West? The second question in that is regarding the Arts District. That's also referred to as part of Blackwood West. And to tell you the truth, I don't know where the Arts District begins and ends, and whether it's Blackwood West is part of the Arts District, or is the Arts District part of Blackwood West? So my question is the Arts District different than Blackwood West? And I have, I guess it's more of a question, a comment for planning in the future for parks and other areas in town where that you put in benches. I, for one, need a backrest, and most of the benches, especially the one in the Citizens Appreciation Park, which is closest to me that I can walk to. By the time I walk there, I'm pretty fatigued, and I'd like to sit down, but I can't lean back, so I'm kind of hunched over my lungs that are already fatigued. So just for future planning, it would be great if the council would consider having benches installed that have backrests on them. Thank you.
Thank you. Does anyone else like to speak on this ordinance? Seeing none, close the ordinance. Ms. Corbin, if you can help me out with the geographic boundaries in the Arts District. I know there's an overlay there. Could you please come to the mic? Ms. Corbin's our township planner.
So the Blackwood West redevelopment plan area, which is actually outlined in the zoning map, which is available online, and I believe there's a copy upstairs as well at the planning office. I don't have the specific streets or boundaries of where it is, but to answer Ms. Litter's questions regarding the Arts District, it's essentially along Black Horse Pike, closer to Church Street and Black Horse Pike intersection. There's North and South Arts District. So yes, it is within the boundary of Blackwood West redevelopment area.
Okay. And Ms. Lear, the benches, I agree. I like the backrest. So I know that the recreation department sells benches, and
most of our benches have the back.
Yeah, that over there at Citizens Appreciation Hotel,
and it just was part of the design. I don't know why they did it that way.
Is there another way to take a look at it?
We probably could.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. May I have a motion on this ordinance 0-25-08? Thank you. On the question, roll call, please.
Mrs. Albright Troxel?
Yes.
Mr. Nash?
Yes.
Mrs. Walters?
Yes.
Mrs. Winters? Yes. Mr. Mercado?
Yes, congratulations, sir. Ordinance 0-25-09, ordinance amending chapter 24 of the Township of Gloucester entitled Stormwater Management of the Code of the Township of Gloucester. This updates and amends, replaces stormwater management in the Gloucester Township Code book. There are close to 25 pages in there. We'll now open up the public hearing. Mr. Leader.
Dave Leader, Glendora. There's a lot to read in that. In my first reading, I read the phrase including green infrastructure. My question is, has that been recommended / approved by the green team? My question is, has that been recommended / approved by the green team? Thank you.
Is there anyone else like to speak on this ordinance? We'll close the public hearing on that. The green team, Mr. Leader, wouldn't be involved in this particular ordinance. They deal with sustainability and recycling type matters. But no, this wouldn't go through the green team. Could they take a look at it and view it? But this is a stormwater management ordinance to make sure that we're updated and complying, bless you, with minimum standards set by the state of New Jersey. But that's something that they could look at if they needed to. I entertain a motion for this ordinance 0-25-09.
Second.
On the question, roll call, please.
Mrs. Albright Troxel.
Yes.
Mr. Nash.
Yes.
Mrs. Walters.
Yes.
Mrs. Winter.
Yes.
Mr. Mercado.
Yes. Ordinance 0-25-10. Ordinance adding chapter 74 of the Township of Gloucester entitled Privately Owned Salt Storage of the Code of the Township of Gloucester. The purpose of this ordinance is to prevent stored salt and other solid de-icing materials from being exposed to storm water. We'll now open up the public hearing on this matter. Anyone wish to speak on this? Mr. Leader.
Dave Leader, Glendora. I read most of that document, and I see that the public, residentials, is indicated as having to follow this document. So I know I have an ice bucket. In fact, we went through 2 of them this year. I didn't know that I had to have it on a concrete surface where water couldn't get to it. So I guess I would be, I don't know, called out for not properly following this ordinance. It's kind of alarming that government is overstepping into the residence area for throwing salt on their sidewalk. Thank you.
Is there anyone else who'd like to speak on this matter? I have a representative from CES. Can you address this for us? Who are our stormwater management oversees that for the township?
Good evening, Marie Baden from Consulting Engineer Services. So the ordinance is there to protect our waters in the state of New Jersey. There's quite a few ordinances that get passed through what's called the municipal stormwater permit that the township holds. So it's to protect the water that you drink, that you swim in, so if we can just be better at learning what our pollutants are. Salt is a pollutant. I mean, even the township has responsibilities when they salt the roads, that they have to make sure that they pick up chunks that are sitting out there. They have to make sure their salt storage is covered. Now the state's coming through and trying to make it be where everyone's doing their part. So if we can protect our waters by, covering our salt, you can still own salt. You can still use salt. They want to limit it to the exposure from groundwater. So if it's raining and your salt's open, it's only in certain months that they want to make sure that you're allowed to have it. There's no stopping you from using it and having it. It's just a matter of the protection of making sure it's either covered or put away, or you can have permanent storage. If you have a sealed container, it could be sealed, and then you don't have to worry about inspection or anything like that. It's just to be more vigilant of what you have on your own property to make sure that our water stays clean.
Thank you very much. Yep. Appreciate it. I entertain a motion. Oh, I'm sorry. Ms. Smithman?
Hello, my name is Shaughnessy Smithman. I live in the SDK Millbridge Gardens apartment complex on Millbrook Court, apartment 341. The back of the apartment faces Kelly Driver Road, identified as Kelly Driver Lane on the New Jersey Transit bus schedule. May I ask, where is this salt being stored?
We'll answer questions at the end.
Oh, I apologize. When it
No
comes
problem.
to the the ordinances with the second readings, I'm used to back and forth dialogue. Oh, where will the salt be stored? I ask because as far as fire departments go, I live in Gloucester Township of the city, but the city, according to the United States Postal Service, is Clementon. There is both a Clementon Fire Department and a Gloucester Township Fire Department, yet I was told by I think I called the township, but I think it was different for the fire department, that Choose Landing is actually the fire department that would go to my apartment. I was having trouble with having the dryer line cleared. Very fortunately, they did clear it finally after many questions because it was full of paper towels. I wonder how that happened. So where will this salt be stored? Since the township is so vast, will it be stored within Gloucester Township or will it be stored in a city within it? And I've also heard there is something called pet safe salt that they sell. Apparently the salt that they use for the roadways is kind of toxic to some animals. And I do notice within this township that there is a very large amount of pet owners that walk their dogs and such within the township. And does that take into consideration where these things are being stored? Somebody might have pets and not realize that salt is toxic. I would have never thought that the salt that they put down this is for snow, I'm assuming, because all it says is privately owned salt storage. It doesn't necessarily say what it's for. Thank you.
Thank you. Does anyone else like to speak on this ordinance? Close the public hearing. Ms. Smithman, this ordinance is for private businesses or homeowners as far as privately owned, including residences, where they store their salt, not the township, Ms. Smithman. Okay? I entertain a motion on this ordinance.
Second.
On the question, roll call, please.
Mrs. Albright Troxel,
Yes.
Mr. Nash,
Yes.
Mrs. Walters.
Yes.
Mrs. Winters. Mr. McAdams.
Yes. I now entertain a motion for the consent agenda. Any council member would like to have any of the items removed, please speak up. Hearing none, I entertain a motion to accept the consent agenda as presented. Have a motion?
I make that motion?
There's a second on the question. Roll call, please.
Mrs. Albright Troxel,
Yes.
Mr. Nash.
Yes.
Mrs. Walters.
Yes.
Mrs. Winters. Yes. Mr. McAdams.
Yes. We did not receive any GTE Gov access emails. We'll now open up our second public comment portion. This is for 30 minutes. Each speaker is entitled to 5 minutes. Each speaker may speak one time during this portion. At the end of the public comment, we will respond. I'll ask my colleagues if they would like to respond to any comments that are made. Anyone like to speak during this portion? Mr. Burns, yes.
Good evening, Council. Brian Burns, Allwood Drive in Ariel.
Good evening, Mr. Burns.
Two things I just wanted to express my viewpoints on, I suppose, get some clarity on. 2 weeks ago when I was here, we talked about the 4 commercial buildings that are planned or being proposed on Hickstown Road. So we're looking at 4 buildings. This was a resolution R2502-073. And I distributed with that to you folks a number of documents. And Ms. Corbin, the planner, responded, but not necessarily to my question. Ms. Corbin did say that the information that I provided council was accurate, was true. She said there will be planning board meetings with regard to these structures, but she didn't answer my question. And my question was, why did council, knowing full well, certainly should have known full well, that these lots and blocks are a natural heritage site, number one, and number two, are in the re-examination of the master plan and specifically noted as needing or suggesting or requiring, whatever word you want to use, to be rezoned for something more appropriate. So those questions were not answered. I'm quite aware that there's many applications and many steps in anything that's being constructed in township. But why council drafted that resolution and approved it when it is in direct conflict to the master plan reexamination and the fact that it's a natural heritage site, and on multiple pages within the reexamination report identifies it as a environmentally sensitive area. So there's 3 questions there. The other thing I wanted to address, and it's kind of been bothering me, is this new protocol for public engagement. You know, I've been coming here minimum 6 years, 8 years, and I will admit that there has been some combative, argumentative, you might even want to see nasty discussions between council and residents. And I get that. You know, and I'm supposing that the purpose of this is to quell that so that doesn't take place. But, you know, this is America, folks. And I think at best it's silly, and at worst it's a form of censorship. Now, you may not like those words. You know, I'm always like, my glass is always half empty. I try to see both sides. But when you have the last word, you basically, you create the narrative. You know, I had to wait 2 weeks now to come back up to answer the questions that I wanted to answer 2 weeks ago. To me, that's silly. You know, I just, restricting residents from engaging in open discussions with council is not looked upon as positive, transparent environment, in my view. I was a teacher for 40 years. Now, what would it be like if students in my class, I said, we can't talk about anything. Okay, I'm going to tell you this, and you're going to take it, and you have one chance to tell me your view on something. Now, tonight, we honored a bunch of educators. Education comes about through open dialogue and discussion, not running a narrative, not having the last word. And it's just, it irritates me that, you know, you get the question, you give an answer, and I can assure you that many residents who come up here have a follow-up question. But we can't do that anymore unless we want to wait 2 weeks. You know, and I have a feeling that there are council members that in their heart know that I'm right and would prefer to see this protocol changed. Because if I was sitting there, there's no way in the world that I would vote for that. You know, this is America. You know, this is not Trump writing executive orders. This is the way it's going to be. I don't like what's going on. I'm going to write an executive order. I want to get away with it. You know, this is a community, and we should be able to have open dialogue. You know, and I've had a lot of discussions, you know, with students. And students have called me all kinds of names. And I have a real thick skin. And I always took the high road. Always. And sometimes I had, you know, discussions with parents that I didn't necessarily agree with. But we had those discussions and we came to amicable, you know, resolutions to the problems. So I'm out of time. But I did have those 3 questions. And if I can add a fourth, what was the purpose of the new protocol for the meetings? So 3 questions. Thank you, Council.
Thank you, Mr. Burns. Is there anyone else? Mr. Leader?
Dave Leader, Glendora. Council already knows how I feel about your new format that blocks dialogue between you all and the public. Makes we the people sound kind of funny, doesn't it? The people are stifled from having a feedback to your opinions. Be it rude, I don't know. I feel it's always rude when I end up in that condition. What purpose does it serve? Public sessions are shorter. No question about that. Clarification? No. There's no clarification on either side because of that ruling. It started with the protocol for this meeting's organization for 2025. Council members, I'd love to hear your agreement, your disagreement, your comments regarding the format. I have a document I'd like to pass on to President Mercado. I'm sorry. As you noticed last time, I repeat my questions twice. So twice burned, whatever that phrase is. I've been burned here too many times. So have other people of the public, the people who you serve. Many of them have complaints about their question not being answered. There has been some wonderful dialogue describing the topic that people ask, but never any details that actually answer the question that was asked. You know it's happened to me several times. I brought it to your attention. Last meeting, I asked, how can I contact and join the Green Team? Well, I sure learned a lot about the Green Team, didn't I? I had Mr. Cardis and Mr. Mercado explain the Green Team, what its responsibilities are, how it behaves. My question wasn't any of that. Just the name Green Team is something I'm interested in. I've been interested in since recycling, since my daughter got into high school and said, Dad, stop not recycling. Since then, I've been an advocate. My question is, how can I contact and join the Green Team? How can I contact and join the Green Team? There's a lot of pages in the documents that the clerk put on the agenda. I was doing word searches. They failed. There is no way to word search those documents. It's an awful laborious, with 51 pages, it's awful laborious to read through those multiple times looking for a key phrase that you're interested in. My question is, how can I do a word search on the Gloucester Township agenda document? How can I do a word search on the Gloucester Township agenda document? Next question is, how can I copy words and phrases on the Gloucester Township agenda document? How can I copy words and phrases on the Gloucester Township agenda document? I would do that so I could prepare my notes to speak to you all. So it's not so disjointed and I'm actually using the actual words that were in the resolution. My next question is, do Gloucester Township employees participate with an annual/other, in other words, a period to be defined in the answer, periodic performance review with the person to whom they report? I'm not going to repeat those. Mr. Mercado has a copy of my notes. Do the Gloucester Township employees have an option to disagree with the reporting manager's comments and measurements? Do the employees receive a dated and signed copy of the performance review? Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Mr. Leader. Is there anyone else? Ms. Coyne, Barrett, and then Ms. Smith.
Denise Coyne, Shoes Landing. I have a visual aid. Good evening. I've reviewed the publicly available Outlook calendars for two high-level township employees, Gabby Mascara, Director of the Sewer Utility, who earns $120,000 annually, and Primo Cruz, Assistant Solicitor and Mayor's Chief of Staff, who earns $170,000 annually. Combined, we are paying nearly $300,000 in taxpayer-funded salaries to these two individuals. Gabby Mascara's calendar is nearly blank, with only a handful of entries. There is no visible evidence of the daily work expected from someone managing an essential township utility. At the same time, she's frequently CC'd on internal administrative emails unrelated to the sewer utility, emails about hiring decisions that fall under the mayor's office. This raises serious questions. Is she truly functioning as the director of the sewer utility, or is she operating as an administrative aide to the mayor, with her salary shifted to the sewer utility budget? And if she's serving as the sewer utility, what does her day-to-day work consist of? The calendar provides no real clarity. As far as Primo Cruz, the calendar we received was almost completely redacted. He is drawing $170,000 salary split between the legal department and the mayor's office, and yet the taxpayers have no visibility into the duties he performs each day to justify that amount. To demonstrate that concern, I've printed and displayed both calendars for you to look at. The public deserves to see what our $300,000 is producing in terms of documented work and value. I also want to bring to your attention, Mary Jo Dentino, who was hired January 21st, 2025 as a senior citizens outreach coordinator under the civil service title Community Service Aide. She's being paid $11,000 above the stated salary for that position. Meanwhile, flyers advertising her senior events include her name under the heading of Office of the Mayor, suggesting she may not be operating within the Community Services Department at all. This creates confusions around her role and title and where her salary is actually being drawn from. It also raises a bigger question. If this position had not been filled in years prior, what changed in 2025 that suddenly made this role urgent and necessary, especially at a salary exceeding the approved range? It's council's role to get answers to ensure that public dollars are being spent transparently and in line with law and public interest. With that in mind, I would like council to answer the following questions. 1, does Gabby Mascara work specifically for the sewer department, or is she performing administrative duties in the mayor's office? If she's serving as the sewer utility director, what are her daily responsibilities? What is Primo Cruz doing on a daily basis that justifies a $170,000 salary split between the legal department and the mayor's office? And why is his calendar so heavily redacted? 3, what is the official job duties of Mary Jo Dentino? 4, why is she being paid $11,000 above the salary range for the position she was hired into? 5, why do the flyers list her name under Office of the Mayor and her salaries being paid from the mayor's budget or from community services? 6, why was this position filled now when it was not identified as a need in prior years? And 7, why do we need an assistant solicitor when we never had one in the past? Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Smithman? Oh, Barry. Excuse me. Barry? Yeah.
Good evening, council. Just a couple of things.
Barry, can we have your name?
Oh, I'm sorry. Barry Salvatoriello, Hickstown Road, Sicklerville. I guess the first thing I need to do is I kind of need to address something to Chief Harkins. I live on Hickstown Road, across from your firing range. 2 weeks, 3 accidents that were reported that the police responded to. Tonight on my way here, flatbeds were there pulling another car out of the woods from in front of my neighbor's house. It's just a constant thing. Your officers know me by name when they pull up. So I've requested in the past, and I've called the county. I've mentioned it here, never specifically to you, so don't want that to be misconstrued as anything else. But is there anything we can do to slow people down on Hickstown Road as they're coming to that curve? There is a level spot in the road. There's no crown. There's a level spot. When the roads are slightly damp, they hit that spot. They're out of control. 2 of these accidents were upside down cars in my front yard. And none of them ever have insurance. I'm spending a fortune filling in my yard and doing things because it's easier than filing civil charges to get, to go to court to take these people small claims for it. They don't have insurance. I'll never see a penny anyway. But I'm just asking, a flashing light with the solar collector on top, slow, curve ahead. Just anything, something would help. And I bring that up because I'm also concerned because I'm now looking at 4 10,000 square foot warehouses that are going to be built in my backyard. If everything goes through the way they're looking to get it done, what is going to change with the traffic? I mean, it's going to put a lot more trucks if people are exceeding the speed limit, which they do. I've offered my front yard. We could clear up the township deficit, issuing speeding tickets, sit in my front yard. I'm just trying to look out. There's houses with kids. Somebody's going to get killed. And I don't know if that's what it's going to take to make a change happen, but it's going to happen. With that being said, I'm just trying to find out if the development that's being changing the subject. I apologize. Thank you, sir. If we're looking at where they're building at St. Pius, is there a secondary exit to come out of where they're building and developing onto Hickstown Road, or is it still going to remain all on Peter Cheeseman by the college? I would appreciate it if I can get an answer to that. As far as what 2 fellow residents have brought up, I kind of enjoy the open dialogue in here. I mean, obviously, yes, there's a lot of conflict that goes on. I'm not going to say that I'm happy about it because I'm not, but we do deserve to get some answers sometimes. And I think that's very important. I mean, is there a lot of unnecessary bickering that goes on? Absolutely. Absolutely. But it comes from both sides. Sometimes I feel like things are said that are very insulting to some of the residents. Maybe if sometimes we weren't treated like petulant children, we could have a better dialogue that would go on throughout the night. And I'm speaking from experience when somebody asked me if I knew what a specific word meant during one of these meetings. Just because people are sitting out here and not up behind the bench does not mean that we're dumb. So, and I guess that's it for tonight. But thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. Hope you feel better.
Thank you.
Ms. Smithman?
663.
Hi, good evening, Council. My name is Shaughnessy Smithman. I live in the SDK Millbridge Gardens apartment complex on Millbrook Court, apartment 341. I've been trying to think of different ways when it comes to car safety on Kelly Driver Road. Since I am a pedestrian, I walk. I notice quite often people will forget to turn their lights on, the lights for their vehicle. I have a little bit more reason to be concerned. I remember I think it was Bluebell Road. Ironically, I think his name was Bobby Bell, was one of the passengers in a car. Bluebell Road kind of had like a little step up and then a side entrance into Forest Hills development. I grew up in Victory Lake, so it was fairly close to that area. People would take that road to get in between the housing developments. The second tier of the light was not engaged. Well, they didn't say. All that they said was that the lights were not on, and somebody said the lights were on. He rear-ended the car, decapitated both the driver in front and Bob Bell. He passed away. He struggled. He lived for maybe a little bit more than 2 weeks. But it was preventable in certain ways, and if not, because like I said, to engage the headlamps on the older vehicles, if you pull the forward once, only your parking lights come on. You have to have your foot on the brake in order for anybody to see you from behind. And when he came up the ramp, but they just brushed it off. They said that there was alcohol in the system. I don't know if he was necessarily drunk, the driver. And they said that her lights were on, but I've seen these vehicles driving with just the first tier engaged on the lighting system. So I've been thinking about it for maybe 20 years. It's quite possible these lights in these housing developments might be a little too bright. When people are exiting when they're leaving, they may not notice that the main lights on their car are not fully lit. So maybe if you would consider dimming those lights a little and the lights along the path, because I see people when I'm leaving the shop right as they're driving toward me on Kelly Driver Road, their lights are not on, but if they turn west or eastbound onto County Route 534, there's no lights on that one section, and there's quite a few housing developments over there. Now you have a Reader's Water Ice, the Wawa reopened. Those are all things that get people walking, especially children, from where they live to there. And if there's a bunch of them, sometimes they're distracted. I think I brought this up before. There was a boy, I think his name was Adam. It was right near Lily Street on Sunset Avenue. Kids were playing. When they're playing, they can't hear everything. Somebody threw his book bag in the street. He went to get it, and he got hit by a car and he died. That's real time. That happened in my lifetime when I was growing up. Not to be too depressing, but I mean, I don't know if they had the drinking and driving awareness. There was someone, I don't think the driver was drinking. I think there was a designated driver, but the passengers in the vehicle were. They were not rowdy. They weren't anything. The woman the one girl, she got a little sick. She rolled her window down. She stuck her head out the window to vomit. The street sign took her head off because the driver went, oh, like this. And those are kids just having a day, but they don't talk about stuff like that. Like the reality of it. I hear things on the news my whole life. I think one of the most calmest thing I'd ever heard was when there was that flood in Louisiana, in New Orleans, was it? There was a flood it had the square where people go for Mardi Gras. It flooded. It's actually located below sea level. So they knew this, and they did have some system in place to remove the water. But as the pumps were taking the water out of the city, they had to keep stopping because they kept getting clogged with bodies. There were so many bodies that they actually had to shut the pumping system down. And years later, when I brought it up, people were denying that happened. And I saw that they tried to get them to at least acknowledge the lives that were in those pumps that they just shut down and walked away from, because the city reflooded and they wouldn't turn on certain pumps. They just refused. My identity is still stolen. I would like to know why Chief David Harkins here sent my information out of this county of Camden. I would like to know why he had my information out of the main office. And they did not send it to investigate fraud. They sent it for therapy, to say I guess that's a suggestion that it's in my head, that it's a mental illness.
Thank you, Ms. Smith.
You're very rude. Other people had more time. Good day.
Is there anyone else who'd like to speak that's not spoken yet? We'll close the second public comment period. I asked my colleagues on council as I go through this if anyone wants to respond to it. Mr. Burns had indicated that when he had asked the question and Ms. Corbin talked about the possible 4 buildings on Hickstown Road, that questions weren't answered, and he provided us 2 questions. Mr. Burns, to be frank with you, I have to take a look back at that resolution, and I will personally email you back this week. Your questions regarding the master plan reexamination, environmental sensitivity of that area, rezoning, and why did council move forward with that? Thank you for your comments on the format. And then you asked for the purpose of the protocol. my responsibility is to manage the council meetings and conduct the township's business. We provide public comment in the first public portion for agenda items or ordinances, hearings, second public comment, and also through e-govs. The comments that are made here are uninterrupted. The comments are responded back to individuals that are there. And I believe this format allows our meetings to move forward and allows us an opportunity to go about other business of government here. I know some people may not agree with it. Again, if you take a look at other municipalities throughout the state of New Jersey, this format is very similar to what they do in those municipalities. Mr. Leader, you want to know how to join the Green Team, Mr. Leader? I will send you that contact information tomorrow to your email. I have your email, and I will give you a Green Team contact person. In regards to the questions that you provided me here, a lot of these questions are questions that are part of the administration, like how to do a word search on the agenda document, how to copy words or phrases on the GT agenda document. Those are things that the clerk's office or the business administrator can help because they're part of the administration. As far as GT employees participating with annual performance review and who they report to, that is an administrative question. Now, I can have Mr. Cardis respond to that. The employees have an option to disagree with their comments and measurements on evaluation. I would imagine so. Any type of HR format, you would provide a response back. You have to sign your evaluation, but you can also disagree with that. I would imagine, Mr. Cars, that's the same format here.
I don't believe we have a formal performance evaluation policy. We don't have a form that we work with the employees and do that on a regular basis. Employees are in the union. They're also civil service. They're subject to progressive disciplinary action. If someone is not doing what they should be doing, they would be subject to that protocol.
But they have the opportunity to respond to it in writing.
Always.
Okay,
Absolutely.
and that's maintained in their personnel record. Okay. Do employees receive a dated and signed copy of any performance review?
We do not.
They do not?
No, they do not.
Okay. I'm going to provide this. Mr. Lead, I'm going to give these questions to Mr. Carson to take a look at them as well.
Thank you.
Okay. Ms. Coyne had brought up board, is this transparency, and brought up two of our employees here in the district, Mr. Cruz and Ms. Mosquera, and also, third, and Ms. Dentino. And there was questions that were asked, and I believe a Oprah request was made of these same items. Am I correct? Ms. Coyne, I'm asking for clarification.
Yes, and I did not get answers required or council.
Okay. Is that a time? Was that time frame? Is that something, a time frame that Mr. Carlemare or Madam Clerk, Ms. Power, that we didn't meet, or we're still need to provide more additional information?
No, we still we're processing them. We have multiple Oprahs right now, and we're working through them.
Okay.
No, the Oprah I got back was denied because it said that it would cause the clerk to do research, which they don't have to do, and I wasn't asking for a specific document. Questions were denied, which is why I brought to the council to have an answer.
These are the questions that are asked here. Mr. Cruz and Ms. Mosquera serve at the pleasure of the mayor, also as Ms. Dentino as well. Ms. Mosquera is the sewer director of the sewer utility, and Ms. Cruz serves as an assistant solicitor and also a chief of staff to the mayor. They serve at the pleasure of the mayor. Regarding their calendars, I know I write things down in the book. I don't always put it on my Google Calendar. There are things I don't know what is redactable or not redactable, Mr. Carlemare, what can be shown there. I know in my line of work, if Mr. Carlemare wants to deal with me on the FMLA matter, that cannot be shared. Okay, so I don't know what can be, what's redacted, what cannot be redacted. This is out of the purview of council. This is administrative questions that are being asked of us. And I guess Ms. Corn say, are we aware of the money that's being, that's provided to these three individuals? Those are administrative tasks and
That's
functions.
correct. That's correct. And what's redacted on Primo Cruz's chart, I did not review, but I'm sure he had advice of some counsel, special counsel, on those type of requests, and that's probably why they were redacted.
Okay. To Mr. Barry, Chief, regarding the Hickstown Road and the activity there, the chief said he will look at that for you. And I see Mr. Officer Reddick went down there and grabbed your, oh, there he is. Okay, grabbed your information. Miss Corbin, can you help me on this? St. Pius, the across from Kennesaw County College, and I guess the question is there a second exit for that particular development? Are you aware of that? Okay. All right. Barry, we're gonna grab some information on that. That's a planning board function, but we'll try to get that information for you. And I heard your concerns about the format here as well. Ms. Smithman, thank you for your comments. With that, can I have a polling of directors?
Mr. Cromere,
Nothing to report.
Mr. Curtis,
Nothing at this time.
Chief Harkins.
I'll just add for the Hickstown Road complaint, that is an active area that we're gonna be looking at. In our capital budget, we had more of those radar signs. That's a potential. Again, I can't promise because they're solar powered, the amount of shading, but it is one of our locations that's on our, that we're gonna be exploring. I've since just emailed the traffic lieutenant, will step up things, and I assure you we'll take a good look at it. That's all I have, sir.
Thank you.
Mr. McGill,
Nothing to add, thank you.
Mrs. Albright Troxel.
Just another congratulations to all the women who make a difference. I see there's one or two still here. Congratulations. And thank you all for coming.
Mr. Nash.
Yeah, I'm going to comment on the new format. I do believe that the intentions, I agree with President Mercado, that the intentions of the new format were to ensure a more civil and an amicable council meeting, because sometimes the meetings were getting a little out of hand. I also do agree that open dialogue is sometimes more productive. So what I ask, is this something that council could potentially brainstorm again now that we had this new procedure in place for 3.5 or almost 4 months or 3 months? Then maybe something we can come back and say, you know what, let's maybe there's some ideas that we can do to maybe try to get back a little bit more of that communication, but without the arguments. It may not be possible, but I'm just asking, is that something we can try to revisit?
We can take a look at it.
Mrs. Walters.
I want to thank everybody for coming out tonight. Congratulations to all the women who do make a difference. Your difference inspires somebody else to continue doing the great work. And I appreciate all the comments tonight. Thank you.
Mrs. Winters.
I want to thank everyone for coming out and congratulate all the nominees for Women Who Make a Difference. It's always nice to see those kind of things in our township and to honor the women who are making a difference and taking that step forward and not just sitting back. Have a great night.
Mr. Mercado.
I want to thank everyone for coming out this evening. Congratulate all the honorees and thank you for the committee that reviewed the nomination and for the individuals that nominated those 10 outstanding women. On April 12th, the Gloucester Township Scholarship Committee will have their 5K race and walk here. It starts at Veterans Park. That is an annual fundraiser that goes towards providing scholarships to high school seniors to attend college. This year, they give approximately $45,000 to $50,000 a year towards that endeavor. And then on April 14th, at our next council meeting, they will be drawing those recipients. So 45 to 50 recipients will be selected, along with 10 other recipients that will receive $100 awards as opposed to the $1,000 for the first 45 50 recipients. So if you're able to attend, I would appreciate it. With that, I entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion.
Is there a second? All those in favor? Aye. Have a great evening, everyone. Thank you.